Welcome back, Raz, to another episode of the Passenger Seat. Woo! It's good to see you guys again. I know the last video we talked about a lot of things of Magic and of Pokemon and all the cards like that. We have more nerd news for you guys. So, and I guess I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. We really don't have like anything like major topic. We're just gonna go run through some nerd news that we've heard, and hope you guys enjoy. Oh,
Yes, sir.
and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and follow us.
Yes.
Do you want to start?
Yes, I actually would. I got a couple of things. I'm going to try to get through it as quick as I can because it is the Magic, the MTG topic is pretty extensive. All right, so for writers, for those of you checking us out, like I've said before, I do have my other channel, which is heavily focused on things like TCG and, games and stuff like that, and it's a space where I can go ahead and talk a little bit more about the topic. I'm going to glaze over the MTG, this MTG news a little bit, but if you want to see more of that type of content in depth, make sure to go ahead and check out my other channel. I appreciate it. With that being said, let me go ahead and start us off with the MTG spoilers for the Marvel superhero set. Now, there were a couple of drops that came down, the pipeline regarding the Marvel superhero set, which is set to drop, I think, by the end of this month in retail stores. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of things, new things that we've seen with this set, a couple of cool things to be excited for. And yeah, let me just go right into it. So the first thing to note is that there's a new keyword in this set called Power Up. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Magic, you know an ability called Exhaust, which is essentially you use the ability once, and it's only a one-of for the entire game. So Power Up is something similar. The only difference is that the Power Up cost that you pay, it's an activated ability, can be reduced by the amount of the mana value of that creature as soon as you play it. So for example, let's say you have a creature that costs 5, right? Let's say whatever pips, 2 white and 3 colorless. And the power up ability is 2 white pips and 5, or 2 white pips and, I don't know, 2 white pips and 5. So when you play that character, because they cost 2 white pips and 3, that means that when you play them, you can use the power up ability minus the 2 white pips and 3 that the character costs, so you'd end up paying 2. I know that's a lot of math, but don't worry about it. We'll put up an example here on the screen. I think the power up ability is kind of cool. Obviously, we know that people have been able to break the exhaust ability or the whole, constraint of them using it once per game by blinking the creature that has exhaust to keep rinse and repeating the effects. So I think this will be a very familiar sort of feel for this keyword as well. Now, I want to talk about some honorable mentions here, and there are a couple of cards that I wanted to mention. So let me just go down the list here, because there are a lot of cool cards in this set. Honestly, I wasn't looking forward too much to this set, since the last Marvel set was kind of a letdown with Spider-Man. But I have to admit that this set is looking extremely good. And I mean, I know there's people who are against, there's a lot of people against the whole UB sets, but dude, this set is looking pretty spectacular. Let me start off with Jennifer Walters, 1 white pip and 1 for a legendary creature, Human Advisor Hero, who says your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Now, this is a, we know this to be what's called a silence creature. Something that stops your opponents from interacting with you on your turn and lets you play your turn comfortably. Obviously she has a transform ability. She transforms into She-Hulk. I think where people are going to want to be, using this card is obviously for the silence ability. We do know that, like, the cards that do that are pretty key pieces in Stacks decks. Our most recent example was from Dragons of Tarkir, so we had Voice of Victory, and that card is going maybe for about $30. So, we're definitely going to see the same type of play for Jennifer Walters. Now, I'm going to look for the next one on my list, and that is going to be the Scarlet Witch. So the Scarlet Witch is super cool. Another thing about this set that I want to point out real quick is that there's a lot of legendary creatures. I know there's a lot of Magic players that are so over it because legendary creatures used to be like, oh my god, like that's a thing, like they're very special. And now it's so overly saturated. But the cool thing I like about it, especially me as a commander player, your commander has to be a legendary creature. And now that they have such an influx of legendary creatures, you have a lot of options to choose from. So I feel like that's pretty fun.
That's a way to look at it.
Yeah, so the Scarlet Witch, 1 red, pip, and 2. For a legendary creature, mutant warlock hero that says instant and sorcery spells you cast with mana value 4 or more cost X less, where X is the Scarlet Witch's power, which means she can potentially reduce the instant and sorcery costs of cards that are more than 4 down to just the pips. And that is absurdly good, right? For anyone who knows the interaction with instants and sorceries, we all know that the hardest thing is wanting to play these cards that have great effects, but you have to expend so much of your resources to do that. The Scarlet Witch would be a great option for you to reduce the cost of that. On to my next honorable mention here is going to be Nick Fury. And that is, his whole name is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It is a 1-drop, just 1 white pip, but he does have a power-up ability, a legendary creature, human spy hero. Power-up is Wooburg. That means you have to pay 1 of every single color to use his power-up ability. He says put 2 1/1 counters, 2 +1/1 counters on Nick Fury. Then look at the top 7 cards of your library, and you can put a hero, equipment, or a vehicle card from among them onto the battlefield. And if it's a double face card, you can transform it. You put the rest down in the bottom. I think that's pretty cool, especially it's thematic with the deck, right? Or with the set, where you can just call up on heroes, equipments, or vehicles. I feel like that's a thing, Nick Fury does, so it's pretty, in theme, and I enjoy that a lot. Let me go ahead and get to my next one, and that is going to be, I'm actually going to skip some of these that I have here, because I do realize that this is getting a little bit too extensive, and I don't want to, keep going on and on and on, because I could talk about a lot. But did I write
Daredevil on there?
There is actually. Hold up. Am I writing this wrong? Okay, yeah, because I have to use a special O. Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor. This one is really fun. It is a 1 red, pip, and 3 for a legendary artifact equipment. And get this, it has 3 different abilities that you can use for versatility. It has a couple of lines printed on there. It's not that it has a bunch of different abilities. It's obviously an equipment. So what it does is when it enters, it deals 4 damage to any 1 target creature, which is pretty on point for Mjolnir. It comes down, the lightning bolt, and fucking kills something. I think that's super cool. It doubles all the damage the equipped creature would deal. Doesn't matter if it's combat damage, doesn't matter if it's damage from an ability, it's going to double all that damage. That's really cool. Next is equip worthy. For 1, a creature, it'll equip only to creatures that are worthy. And I think this is super cool.
That's actually kind of cool.
This is super on brand. It has to be a legendary creature that is not a villain, and it has to be either red or white. And I think that is an awesome thematic piece to put onto the card. So a lot of people excited for it. The last effect is 1 red, pip, and 2. You discard Mjolnir, and it will deal 2 damage to every single creature on board. So I think that is also really cool and thematic. So again, a lot of these cards, a lot of the spoilers, it's making the set look really, really good. And for people who are a little bit let down with Spider-Man, I think this is going to be the redemption arc, right? There's a couple other ones I want to mention. I'm not going to go ahead and get into the explanation for them, but there's Tony Stark, there's the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Storm, Wind Rider, and there's also Namor the Submariner. But the last one I want to talk about in depth is the Serpent Society. Now, the reason...
Oh, wow. That's kind of a false, like a long stretch in the Marvel comics. Like, no one ever talks about them.
Yes, but they're going to talk about them now. And the reason why is because Mark Rosewater, he put out a tweet, and the only thing it says was, Ward, get 5 poison counters. Now, poison counters are prolifically known in Magic for being an alternate way for people to lose. Because the rules of Magic state, if you have 10 poison counters, you lose the game. Obviously, Carlos, you're not too familiar with this, but Ward is a mechanic in Magic that says if you target a creature, you have to pay the ward cost. Now, the ward cost for the Serpent Society is that the player who's targeting the Serpent Society is going to get 5 poison counters. So you target them twice, guess what? You're out of this game unless you find a way to remove the poison counters from yourself. That's really cool. That's huge. But the other ability, first of all, it's a green. It's a multicolored card. Green pip, black pip, and a 1 has Death Touch. It has the ward ability, and whenever another creature you control with Death Touch dies, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. Great card. Great card. I think this card came down and everybody was losing their shit about it. It is so good, especially in that color combo. Super excited about it. Now, that's going to wrap up everything I had for Magic because I don't want to drag this on too long. Writers, let us know down below if you're a Magic player, if you see any of this, and like what you thought the craziest spoiler was. Now, if you're not a Magic player and Marvel is going to be the thing to make you get into Magic, let us know. Let us know. Just ask questions. I mean, I'd be super happy to answer that in the comments. Now, that being said, and that part closed, let me go ahead and roll into the last 2 or 3 bits of nerd news that I have here. JJK Season 4 announcement on Juneteenth for MAPPA's 15th anniversary. I think it's their 15th anniversary, their anniversary stream on that day. So make sure to go ahead and check that out if you want to know about JJK Season 4. The next thing is the Bleach movie for the 1,000-Year Blood War is going to be dropping on June 25th, between 25th and 29th in theaters. So if you're like me and you're super excited about Bleach, make sure to go ahead and get those tickets as soon as they come out, whether it's pre-sale or whether it's on regular sale, however you can.
How's that working in the movie theaters over there? Because there's a lot of movie theaters over here. It's 1 showing per day.
Yeah. I really don't know, one, if they're gonna do it here, and 2, if, just how it's gonna play out. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Okay.
Last 2 things I want to mention are 2 apps that I've tried out. I'm a huge fan of, mobile apps, gaming apps. And there's 2 that I really wanted to talk about. The one was Clash of Critters, because I've been getting those fucking adverts everywhere. And I was like, let me go ahead and give it a try. Okay, this is what I'll say. The concept is pretty cool, but I feel that the game is too greedy. What I mean by that is you go in, it's this pinball style thing where you need to use a pinball with a set amount of pinballs to unlock new critters and to also level up your critters. And then you take them and you beat like stages. This is what I don't like. Eventually, you're going to hit a wall. And when you hit that wall and you've run out of pinballs, and it's not like they're flooding you in pinballs, they're going to ask you for money to get more pinballs and keep playing. And it feels like one of those things that's like, it's great for like the first hour, and then you just sort of want to like never touch it again. So I'm kind of disappointed in Clash of Critters. It started out good. Now I'm just kind of over it. So definitely going to be binning that one. Now, the next one I picked up is pretty exciting. So far, it's had me hooked for a little bit. We'll see how much longer that lasts. And that is Dissidia Duelum Final Fantasy. So it is a game where you can unlock characters and you can unlock abilities for the characters to slot them in on the character, and then you go into these matches where it's basically sort of you'll have a boss, and then you'll play. It'll be 3-on-3. You'll play against an opposing team. Whoever can kill the boss first wins. And I think it's super cool because you have to decide whether to focus on the boss or fight the other people. You have to either fight the other people or destroy these crystals to give you these points to activate your brave mode. You can't hit the boss unless you're in brave mode. So it's this really cool interaction of, I have to go get resources or I have to fight other players before I'm actually able to focus on the main goal. And I think it's super fun. I really found it pretty interesting. I'm playing it a lot right now. I don't know if I'll make content on it or not. We'll see. Right now, my two mains are going to be Clive and Sephiroth, which Sephiroth has an event right now. Yeah. So super excited about that. And with all that being said, that is the end for me and my nerd news. I'm sorry. I know it was a lot. Yeah.
Good.
Go ahead, C.
No, that was good. Honestly, I hope Marvel does do better than Spider-Man, because that was a loss right there.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll get started on some of my nerd news. I don't have a lot for you guys. I have 3 pieces of nerd news, and then I kind of want to talk about a movie I watched, just so you guys know.
Sir.
All right, so after 25 years, Disney has finally agreed to make a sequel to Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
That's so good.
Dude, I know, after 25 years. Anyways.
Nice.
They realized that even though when it first got released, it was a box office bomb, it did not do good, and that's why it never received a proper sequel. I know there's some people out there who'll be like, there is a sequel. And it's like, okay, that movie that got released later was just different type of episodes of their many adventures. This is going to be an actual real sequel to the movie. And then on top of that, they're also releasing the 25th anniversary edition of the first movie in a box set. So for those of you who are big fans, congratulations. And on top of that, they're going to release a comic sequel called The Curse of Kuruk. Kuruk? I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
From Avatar?
No, I guess. Maybe it's pronounced that way. But in any case, it is called Atlantis, The Lost Empire, The Curse of Kuruk. The first volume releases October 13th of 2026.
I'm talking shit, dude. I thought you mentioned Kuruk. I thought you were already moving on to another set of nerd. I thought you said Kuruk. I thought you said Kuruk, and I was like, Avatar, Korra. But yeah.
No, it's all Atlantis.
Okay.
The sequel, the comic that's coming out, first volume in October, and then on top of that, the 25th anniversary edition in a box set, Blu-ray, and all that kind of stuff. Nice. So for you guys who are really big fans of Atlantis, this is probably really big news for you guys. Personally, I will not pick up the box set. I will not pick up the comic, but I would love to see the sequel. That would be amazing.
I am more of a Treasure Planet guy, but yeah.
Other piece of nerd news, of course, they have released news about new games, and I'm pretty sure everyone's kind of seen some of the trailers, and one of the ones that interests me was they finally released a teaser trailer of Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin, which is going to be a really cool game. They guaranteed 10 out of 10 action. Of course, for those of you, I'm not sure if this is really a spoiler anymore because it's been around for a long time, and if you guys, spoiler warning, whatever. Michelangelo is the last Ronin. All his brothers died, and he needs to go. Basically, the story of the game will continue the story of the IDW comics. So you're just gonna follow us in that same adventure. So for those of you who actually didn't read the comic and you want to know more, you can go ahead and play the game, and it will kind of follow along with what the comic teaches you. But hopefully, it's in that same style, and you get to go around the city. It's an open world, hopefully, because the teaser trailer doesn't give you much. It just gives you a sewer cap and you hear voices, but that's basically it. Just a really small teaser.
Okay.
Release date. It's by Platinum Games, by the way. The release date. I don't think they have a release date yet, but I'm pretty sure it is 2027 for those of you guys who are waiting for it.
Okay.
The last piece of nerd news that I have here is also they've released a trailer. It's still a teaser trailer, but more of a trailer than the Ninja Turtle one, and that is Spyro. After so many years,
Wow.
Spyro is finally getting a game again.
Wow.
The new Spyro game, after it says right here, 2 decades, Microsoft Activision is finally doing it. Tom Kenny, of a famous voice actor, is returning as Spyro. For those of you who didn't know, he did the original voice. This is gonna go and basically revamp the universe, because they tried to revamp the Spyro universe. I don't know if you remember, but it was he was part of that universe where you had to buy the little toy and like place it on the thing.
Oh
Skylanders?
yeah, like Skylanders. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. They tried to revive him by making him part of Skylanders, but it didn't work out that way. And true fans wanted a true game back. So this is for the real fans. I myself, I'm gonna be honest, never played a Spyro game, but I'm pretty sure you guys are excited.
Jesus, dude.
I've never played one. Like, and I don't remember what console it was, but me and my brother, we just didn't pick up one for Spyro.
I think it was on
remember.
PlayStation.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, for those of you out there want to go and release date again 2027, so still gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah.
And now that I'm done with my nerd news, this weekend, I actually went on Thursday night and saw the pre-release of Masters of the Universe. And then you guys know, who have been following the channel, who've been following our videos, I've been talking about it all the time. Every time there's news about it, I talk about it, and I finally got to see the movie. Now I'm going to give you a non-spoiler review, and for me, as a fan, it was amazing. I completely enjoyed it, but I will say, and I told Joseph this before we started shooting the video, it is very fan servicey, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of things for like people like myself that I'll be like, oh my god, you know, like that. But people who don't know the universe in its entirety might be like, I don't get it, or I don't get that reference, or I don't get that joke. When it's one of those things that you would if you were a fan, type of thing. But I feel like people will still enjoy it because it is a popcorn flick. It's not taking itself too seriously. It's meant for you to watch it and have fun. Right now, the rating for Rotten Tomatoes, it was at 73, now it's at 66. But don't let ratings fool you. It is a great movie. Jared Leto actually gives a tremendous performance as Skeletor. If you guys just want to go to the movies and have fun, it is awesome. I will be seeing it again. And that's kind of like a non-spoiler review because the story is pretty basic.
Right. Yeah, I heard some unfortunate news. It looks like they've only made 50 million in the box office, where their budget was 200 million. Kind of a bummer.
Yeah. That's one thing that's gonna suck, and I wish you guys would go out and see the movie, because opening weekend it only made 12 million. It's at 50 million now, but 200 million was to make it, and 200 million is like, it still wouldn't guarantee a sequel because you're just meeting your mark. You need to go above your mark.
Right.
So
rough.
I don't know if there's going to be a sequel in the future. I really hope so, but that's just me as a fan. I can't really force people to go see it and make more money, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, dude. Unfortunately, I'm gonna speak my truth. I'm not gonna go watch it in theaters. You know, I typically don't go to the theaters too much or as often anyway. So I'll probably watch it when it comes out on streaming services. But yeah, I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, they gave it an ending in a sense, like there is a cliffhanger, but the cliffhanger's after the credits. The movie actually has a proper ending, so even if it's the only one, I'll be okay with that. That's fine. At least you gave it an ending.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that is all, then I think we are done for today. Riders, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate y'all. And make sure to comment down below anything we talked about today. We'd always appreciate the support. And with that being said, make sure to join us on our next ride. And till next time, peace out.
Peace.